Welcome to the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Ranger. And we are going to give you your real estate news, your mortgage news. Where are the rates at? How are summertime sales going? I want to jump into summertime blues.
Summertime blues.
Your real estate plan. You want one big home? You want four small ones? And then buyer consults. Don't be a nomad. Don't be a gypsy wandering around, staring at your phone, pulling up in front of that house, wondering if it's available, checking your phone, talking to 10 different realtors. We're going to talk about buyer consults and how that can make your real estate plan a lot simpler.
Well, it makes it a lot easier and it saves time. But you know what I don't think a lot of people understand is that you are better off to have your own representation than to just stop by a random real estate agent's listing and go in and negotiate with them. But you know, some people may think, Cleve, that going to and stopping by the sign, why don't I just go right to the agent that has the property listed?
Well, and it's funny, there were some old real estate seminars that talked about that. And I get some people calling me with their script in front of them because they just attended the investment seminar. And they say, well, you're the listing agent, so there's going to be a reduced commission. Not true.
No, there's not.
And I would be scared if somebody says, oh yeah, sure. Please let me be your agent. Because if they're willing to give away their money and do twice the work for half the money,
what are
they going to do with your money and the representation you're going to get? So that's something to watch out for. But there's so much data out there. And usually what's happening is all these sites just want to control your data or sell it.
Here's what I believe. I believe that you should always have your own representation, because the person that put the sign in the yard has a fiduciary responsibility to negotiate for the seller. They were hired by the seller, even though they may say, well, we're a dual agent or whatever. I still think that you're representing the seller. So that would be like me going to court and asking my opponent's attorney how to negotiate my case.
Almost. Now, in some cases, now what happens, Bruce, is most people calling on signs, or they click on a picture on realtor.com, and by the time you figure out everything and they've talked to you, the site picture is totally changed on what they need or want or their price point. Because most of the time people gravitate towards that really, really nice neighborhood, and they're looking at something for $799. They're qualified to $699 because of X, Y, and Z that you see on their credit report. So what we do is help clarify that picture. And I've sold my own listings, but I still sat down with that buyer and said, all right, what are you looking for? Does this check all the boxes? Are you sure this is the one? Let's go look at 2 or 3 others and make sure this is the one. And then I don't put in, and if they say, you're the listing agent, I want to put in an extra low offer, it's not going to work, because why would I do that to my seller? Other people are showing it. And if we're getting 6 people a week looking at it, it's going to sell within 2 or 3% of list price.
That's right. That's right.
How are rates doing, Bruce?
Well, this week, and I called it last week, we had what's called a bearish engulfing pattern on the candlestick chart. That may sound a little esoteric, but it is an indicator that rates are going to turn negative. And sure enough, they turned negative Thursday, Friday, and then early this week, we started off on not such a great foot. So rates actually popped up a little bit. I watch this market like a hawk, and I'm telling you, I don't think there's too many lenders out there that even understand the movement and what triggers the market to move. But I am a geek when it comes to that. So I keep my clients informed. And if you're floating your rate, I made calls on Thursday and I said, you may want to lock today because I think it's getting worse. And some did and some didn't. Now, the ones that did, they made out. The ones that didn't, they may have to wait it out a little longer to see if they recover. Now, we didn't lose a lot, but we lost about 30 basis points, which is, $300 per 100,000. That's not cheap.
Yep.
That's not cheap. So I don't think this is permanent. I think that as this whole tariff thing gets settled out, now that the big bills passed, I think that things still will start settling down a little bit. But as it sits right now, rates pop up just a little bit. They're still running in the high 6s right now for 30-year fixed, and the low 6s for 15-year fixed. FHA and VA are running in the mid 6s right now. So they're really not too bad. And I'm seeing that a lot more buyers are jumping in the market.
And we've got a Fed cut coming in about 3 weeks. I mean, excuse me, a Fed meeting. So
Yeah.
no cut was what I'm seeing
So
here,
we
which is
say
actually,
there's going to be a cut.
and actually, no, this says 95% of chance of no cut
No
this month.
cut. I don't believe there's
September,
going
it
to be a cut.
says there's chances, but you don't think the pressure that Trump calling too slow Powell and bumbling nincompoop is going to
I
affect
don't.
him?
I actually don't think he's going to make a move. I'd be shocked if he did.
He's got TDS.
And I think the market will be shocked if he does as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that actually, well, that's the thing. I mean, everybody thinks the rate cuts are what helps mortgage rates. They don't.
But they don't. They
don't.
absolutely,
We need
matter of fact, they're going to hurt mortgage
we
rates.
need low inflation, low
Which
energy
we're already
costs.
working that way.
And we're going that way, definitely. And when we get that and more reports of that, then the bond market recovers and helps the mortgage rates.
Absolutely.
So the only thing the Fed cuts do is lower your HELOC, lower your credit card payments slightly, but not a big effect on mortgage rates.
Well, I'm still seeing a lot more buyers jumping in right now. Applications were up for nationally, they were up a little bit. And to be honest with you, applications for home prices have continued to rise for the last 22 months. So things are getting better.
You guys break that down, because I'd be interested to know how many of those applications they already own a home and they're looking for their second or third, because that's what I'd like to see. Because some of the people that own the home, they're the ones probably with the 3 and 4% interest rate.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because I still think that there's a big segment of the population that's still polarized because they don't want to get out of that 30-year fixed rate that they have at 3.5%. However, I'm seeing an influx in the market in my DSCRs and my bank statement programs. So these are people coming in and buying investment properties, and I'm seeing more and more of them. I've got one coming in from California this week, and they are looking to buy several properties, and they're looking at DSCRs on all of them.
Yep.
So there's investors that are savvy that want to get into the market.
And I was totally wrong back in like January. I called the bottom. The Sleepy Joe hangover's over. Yay, we got a new administration. Things are going to be better, and the economy has gotten better, but the rates haven't come. So we're at the bottom.
Rates have not.
But yeah. I've never been through a real estate cycle like this. I've been through three other slowdowns, but I've never been through one like this. We don't have defaults. We have people with great equity in their homes and low affordable mortgage rates, and they don't want to move unless there's twins on the way and they're in 1,500 square feet.
Well, if you bought your home 3 years ago, you may not have a lot of equity if you did 3% down.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that in a couple of cases where people would like to get out, but they don't have the equity. But you just bought 3 years ago. You can't expect that you're going to gain equity every single time. Real estate is a get rich slow. I've never looked at real estate as a get rich quick. And people that are wanting to do flips and things like that, you better time it right, and you better buy it right.
Or have a plan B that the house will rent and cash flow for you.
Absolutely.
So I've got one right now going on. In fact, a little house. In fact, it'll probably be actually it's on the listings here. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit next segment. But summertime blues. I mean, we've got sales are slower. We're almost in like a busy. This is like a busy October, November, like fall sales, because usually in the summer we shoot up to like 3,500 sales a month. And I will have June's numbers next show. Unless the Russians hack the board of realtors again and mess up their printouts and all their data they put out for us. But
they could.
We're just seeing. Now, the good thing is, Bruce, is that inventory has stayed relatively steady. The number of new listings coming on the market is less than last year.
Right.
So if sales can climb, and that's what I don't have the data in front of me because my work car decided to break down on me, and it's at the shop, and I left all my radio info in there.
Oh, you can wing it.
I'm winging it right now, but I can't remember sales. I mean, sales are behind last year slightly, but not a lot. But the number of listings coming on the market being less than last year, that is good. So people are holding tight. There's not as many sellers out there. That's what we want, because I swear, if rates go to 6.25, I think we're back to a 2-3 month supply. So, because one time out of 10, I'm seeing multiple offers, Bruce. I had that happen last month on a couple homes, and literally all 3 offers come in. I tell all 3 agents, hey, got multiple offers, please improve your offer. One person just said, hey, we'll close whenever the seller wants, and they can lease back for a month afterwards if that helps them. The other 2 offers, one agent didn't even call me back, and one agent said, nope, we're staying where we're at. And the agent didn't call me back, called me 5 days later going, hey, what happened to my offer? Like, literally didn't even check their voicemail. So
No
how
kidding.
disappointed is that buyer? But it's literally their own fault since they chose that agent.
I find that
But
most people do not know how to choose a good real estate agent.
that's right. So how do people get a hold of you if they are thinking about DSCRs or getting a new mortgage?
Listen, you want to buy a home, you want to refinance. We're going to talk about refinancing and the opportunities as well in this show. But if you'd like to talk to the loan arranger, I'm right here in your backyard. I've been in the mortgage business for 35 years. We keep and service 90% of the loans that we originate. We don't broker. Almost none of our loans are brokered. Everything is done in-house. And I have a guaranteed close time. I will guarantee I'll close your loan on time, on the scheduled closing date, or I will pay the seller up to $500 per day for every day we miss that closing. I do that to ensure that my buyers win when it comes to making that winning offer. You can reach me at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or go to webringyouhome.com and get your application started. I'm here to help you. I will make sure that you get the best mortgage experience in the industry when you come to me. You know, Cleve, that 67% of people that are buying a home and getting a mortgage are dissatisfied with the process and don't close on time.
Well, my sellers, it's funny. I get this. I give my sellers and buyers and my active listings, I give them weekly update calls and I go see them face to face every 2 to 3 weeks. And sometimes they'll say, gosh, you call me a lot. I want to make sure you're okay. You don't do this every year. Besides having a baby or getting married or divorced, this is not,
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And it's hectic. It's chaotic.
It's a big deal.
Sometimes. And I want to make sure they understand everything that's going on. I want to help them however I can. I just had a nice elderly couple, listeners to the show, been in the same house for 25 years, moving north to be with kids. And I asked him his biggest concern when I sat down and went over my marketing plan with him. And he said, well, really, I'm a little older. He goes, I don't want to be taken advantage of. He goes, I don't want somebody trying to sell me something. And he goes, like all these text messages we get on people wanting to buy our house, people knocking on my door wanting to sell me solar panels and roofs. And he goes, I just don't trust many people.
Well, you know, they have every reason to feel that way.
Yep.
You really do. And I think that that's part of why we do this show, is not as an advertisement for us, but for us, for our clients and our listeners to know that they have somebody in the industry that they can truly count on. And I think that you and I have proven ourselves. I mean, check out our Google reviews, check out our references. We're not here just as blowhards. We really are here to make sure that our clients have a better experience when it comes to the real estate.
Well, what I did was I did a group 3-way call with his kids, and one of his kids is real estate adjacent up in South Carolina, spoke to them and went through, actually North Carolina, I think, and went through, she had questions about my marketing program, emailed that to her, went over it, a written marketing program, asking about pricing and all those things and why I thought it should be priced here. And it was very simple. I mean, she said, and it's funny, they interviewed another person and she goes, oh, hands down. She goes, this person had no advice whatsoever and no marketing plan written down. They had some pre-printed papers and a couple of sales in their hand, but had no plan for what's going on or how long this would take or what. And plus I got them as movers. I got them a yard guy to help them clean up the yard a little bit. I got him an air conditioning guy. I got all these people that help me out on my team. So if you have any problems or you're thinking about making a real estate plan, you want to know where to go, how to do it, how to buy a house, how to sell a house, how to manage your investment properties, call me at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes for the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about who should be refinancing right now and what opportunities are there in the market for investors. Why are investors buying so much? So don't go anywhere. We've got a lot of things to talk about in addition to Cleve's listings. So don't go anywhere. The Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show will be back in 5 minutes. Woohoo! Let's get going.